One set of projects that I'm currently working on concerns the role that firms play in determining wages and in shaping inequality. So a large body of existing work sheds light on how easy or difficult it is for workers to switch firms. Now I'm interested in the reverse question. So how easy or difficult is it for firms to switch workers, in some sense, to replace workers? So when a worker leaves the firm, how easily can the firm replace the worker, for instance, by hiring someone new in the external labor market? And to what extent do such worker exits affect the firm's demand for its remaining workers? And I shed light on these questions drawing on a combination of quasi-experimental techniques and large-scale administrative data on firms and workers in the German and in the Austrian labor market. Now, what I find is that when a worker leaves a firm, that changes the firm's demand and the wages of the remaining workers. Now, that is important because it tells us that skills of workers are hard to replace in the external labor market, suggesting that firms are firm or relationship specific. That in turn is important because it tells us that firms and interactions between colleagues within firms are very important for understanding how wages are set and in turn to understand how wage inequality changes or comes about. A paper that has influenced my work is by David Cart, Jörg Heining and Patrick Klein, documenting the rising importance of firms in determining wage inequality, in this case in the German labor market. So what these authors have shown is that over time, in the last decades, it has become increasingly important where one works for one's wages. And that is a bit of a puzzle for standard economics, because why would the same worker be paid different wages depending on where he or she works? And that's why I think this is an interesting piece of work that opens up a broad set of questions about the role of the firm in determining wages. And it documents a phenomenon that seems to be not just Germany specific, but other work that has built on this, this paper has extended the empirical design to, for instance, Brazil or the United States, and has found quite similar results, thereby suggesting that this is a global phenomenon. I've told you a little bit about how firms matter in determining wages. And I think an important question is to understand why that is the case and whether and how fairness norms within firms shape wages and what the boundary of those norms are. So, for instance, when a firm outsources some of its work, what is the effect on the workers that are being outsourced? And what is the effect on the workers that remain in that firm? And how is their morale affected? And that is an important question to understand whether and through which mechanisms fairness norms affect wage setting and in turn wage inequality. I'm Simon Jäger and I'm an assistant professor of economics.